Do you know where we are now? Yeah. Oh, very close. Pretty, very close. Yeah, we are here right next to the river. Very nice.
8 out of 10.
So this is the complex where the emperor lived for 500 years. And the whole complex was established in 1406 and completed in 1420. So my first question to all of you is that what is the age of the Forbidden City from 1420 till now?
Like 600, over 600 years.
A little bit over than 500 years. Exactly how many years? 2025 minus
605.
Excellent. This is for you. Okay? Okay, this is for you. Let me finish first. So this is the Forbidden City. Most important buildings were built along the central axis, or there's a meridian line. The gate stands at the southern end of this meridian line should be called the Meridian Gate. And the central entrance, as I mentioned, which is reserved for the emperor only. Nobody else were allowed to walk through the central entrance back in the day. Our tour will be going along the central axis from the outer court to the inner court. Outer court refers to those three major palaces where the emperor celebrated their birthdays, the winter solstice, the Chinese New Year, and they didn't come to this area very often. They spent most of the times in this area where their ladies resided. The emperor had one empress, dozens of consorts or concubines, and hundreds of the pretty girls. They all live in that area. So that's the place where the emperor spent most of their times back in the day. The outer court and the inner court. If time permits, we're going to visit a little bit on the west ward, where we're going to see the residence for the ladies, like the Dragon Lady. The most powerful lady at the end of the Qing dynasty. She ruled the country for 48 years. Very powerful lady. And we're going to see her living residence in this area. Also, in this area, the Eastern Palaces. Let's see how our time goes. If time permits, we can also visit and the only European-style palace in the Forbidden City. And that one has a similar destiny as the Titanic, half-finished royal palace in the Forbidden City. And later on, we'll be coming out to the Aero Pavilion that served as the Emperor's Royal Fitness Club. Yeah, and then we'll continue the tour to this area and make a left. That's the place we call this tour an end. And exit, this is the East Palace Gate where we started this morning. Well, I met you over here at the East Palace Gate. So we'll finish our tour in that area as well. So the inner court, outer court, and the inner court. But the thing is, most of the buildings are built along the central axis, close to the public. We cannot walk into the palace. That means we cannot get a very good look of those beautiful and famous furniture displayed inside. That's why our tour will start from a furniture hall in this area, where 300 beautiful furniture displayed. We can give them very close to look to those beautiful furniture. Also, there's a 4-star restroom stand right next to it. So we can go straight to the restroom first and the furniture hall to see the 300 beautiful furniture. Let's flip it over to have a look at those emperors. 24 emperors in the Ming and Qing dynasties. Pretty much all those emperors resided in the Forbidden City for 500 years. That's why the Forbidden City has two names. The Forbidden City and the Palace Museum. The Forbidden City refers to the living residence for those emperors. They lived here for 500 years, and also called the Palace Museum, because from 1925 to now, which used as the Palace Museum and open to the public. That's why it's called a Palace Museum. It houses 1.86 million artifacts, making it one of the largest museums in this country now. And the Ming and Qing dynasty. Have you ever learned any history about this country? There are many dynasties out there in that list. Started from 2,200 years ago, the first feudal dynasty called Qin, Q-I-N. You ever heard of the Terracotta Warriors? So where the Terracotta Warriors located? At the capital city of the Qin dynasty in Xi'an, 2 hours flight away from here. So the Qin, Han, Jin, Sui, Tang, Song, Yuan, Ming, Qing. Ming and Qing refers to those two dynasties. Pretty much all those emperors lived in the Forbidden City for 500 years. Those two emperors, they established the Ming dynasty. They lived in Nanjing Nanjing is the former capital city of the Ming Dynasty. They lived in Nanjing, and the third emperor in the Ming who usurped the power from his nephew and became the third emperor in the Ming. He moved the capital from Nanjing to Beijing and established the Forbidden City. When he passed away, all his descendants, all those emperors after him, they all lived in the Forbidden City for 200 plus years until the last emperor in the Ming, Emperor Chongzhen. This guy had some, encountered some huge issues: the corruption, the civil war, the eunuchs' interference in the politics. So those armies were attacking his dynasty. Finally, they made their way into the city of Beijing, and that forced him to commit suicide by hanging himself at the hill, which is located right behind the Forbidden City. We're going to see that hill from the Forbidden City, where he killed himself at the age of only 34, which when marked as the end of the Ming Dynasty, April 1644. And those peasant uprising army, the enemies, they took over the Forbidden City and occupied this place for 42 days. Later on, those Manchurian people coming from northeastern part of the country with a very tiny, small population, but they were very strong, very good at fighting. They come to Beijing and defeated those peasant uprising army, and they took over the Forbidden City and occupied the whole country and started a new dynasty, which is called the Qing Dynasty. The Qing Dynasty, the Q is spelled like a Q-I-N-G. They lived in the Forbidden City for 260 plus years, for 10 generations, from 1644 to 1911. This emperor, he is the last emperor in China's history, the last emperor in the Qing as well, the last emperor in China's history, Emperor Puyi. You ever heard that movie, the famous movie named The Last Emperor, which is actually filmed inside of the Forbidden City? That is a movie about this emperor. So he is the most recent one. That's why there's only one photograph out of the 26 paintings. Last emperor, he was kicked out of here in 1924. And then the following year, 1925, they opened the palace to the public as a palace museum. So this year, right now, is the 100th anniversary of the foundation of the Palace Museum. So that's why we are seeing a lot of construction, restorations going on in the Forbidden City. They're going to throw out many celebrations and exhibitions in this palace this year. So now let's head to the 4-star bathroom and then the furniture hall. Okay? You're welcome. Far away from the palace. So those palaces have very similar combination like this: throne and the screen. The throne is decorated with a white jade-made dragon, and the screen is decorated with 9 boxwood-made dragon. And number 9 dragons represents the highest power in that heavenly number system. So in that system, which is composed by those heavenly numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, 9 stands on the top, representing the utmost power. And the number 5 stays in the middle to keep the balance of those heavenly numbers. Those are 2 most important numbers in that system. That's why the emperors are called 9 and 5 supremacy. And also those dragons, how do you say dragons in Chinese? Long. So that's the name for this beautiful and holy creature, the long, instead of the dragon. Because the dragon, that is the name for those Western image, is kind of the evil and bad, and it breathes fires, has a pair of the wings, and always being defeated or killed at the end of the story. But Chinese dragon is the holy image, and it's a totem, has been worshipped in this country for more than 3,000 years. So the correct name, or the official name for this creature should be Long instead of the dragon. Long. Okay, over here, let's take a look at this reading desk for the emperor. It's used very popular on the emperor's bed. The emperor will be sitting behind that desk with their leg crossed, and put a book right on the top of that reading desk. Very convenient to use and easy to carry. when the emperor get tired, they can also put that reading desk behind their back and use the other back support. Let me show you this picture. This is how the emperor read the book, by sitting behind this desk. All right? Over here, there's a very small, the smallest furniture in the Forbidden City, or in this furniture hall. Very small. This is the emperor's fish tank, a small fish tank. It has two layers. The inner layer is filled with pearls. If we had come here before the pandemic, we would be seeing a goldfish swimming inside.